introducing our keynote speaker, Desiree Barnes. Born in Buffalo, New York, Desiree Barnes was an Amherst Central High School graduate of the class of 2005. Desiree attended Fordham University in New York City for 2 years before leaving to join the Obama campaign in 2008. Desiree was an Obama Fellow and became a field organizer in Western Pennsylvania. Following the campaign, she took part-time classes at Georgetown and interned for the First Family during the transition and inauguration. She has traveled to over 40 states and nearly 30 countries and 6 continents on behalf of the President and the First Lady. Desiree has served as an advanced associate, preparing message events and coordinating press logistics and coverage for the First Family, Senior Press Assistant, and Wrangler, managing the White House Correspondents Association's protective pool. Desiree traveled with the President, managing the coverage and access of the dozen or so reporters who travel with the President everywhere. In her prior role at the White House, she served as the advisor and special assistant to the White House Press Secretary, Josh Earnest, ensuring that the press secretary is briefed and prepped on news of the day issues, interviews that President Obama participated in, and answering questions from the various reporters seeking more information on the issues. Desiree has worked on 2 presidential campaigns and inaugurations and enjoys getting to travel and learning about other cultures as a Buffalo native. Desiree currently serves as an aide to former President Obama for communications and public engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, Desiree Barnes.
Hi, Tigers. Let me just first start by saying thank you so much for having me here, and hopefully we can get comfortable and get some things out of the way, because I'm not here to change your vote. I'm not even here to talk about politics. I'm a Tiger first before a Democrat, so just know that. And for Principal Pigeon, thank you so much for inviting me to come and speak here. If you knew my high school track record, I never thought that see the day. Also, I think I heard mention of Mr. Damiani. He was my gym teacher. Every time I would walk into the gymnasium, he would yell out, "Stu Barnes!" And for those of you who don't follow hockey, that was a hockey player that I didn't watch, didn't know, didn't care, but it got me to gym class all the time. So I'll get started and, bear with me because my speech is on my iPhone. So sorry parents, pen and paper aren't so in anymore. So say goodbye to the stress of finding a date for the homecoming dance in the anticipation of region scores and report cards. The time has finally come, class of 2017, the day you can walk across the stage and step into a new chapter. And somehow, in all of my millennial glory, you've got me here to send you off with a laugh or two, or maybe even a word of wisdom if you're willing to receive. When I was asked to speak, I was nervous. Nervous in the way I was on the dance team before any Friday evening performance, as if my ability to count out the steps to a Britney Spears song would decide my social life success. You see, before I lecture, let's just get another few things out of the way. I was not the valedictorian. I was not an all-star athlete. I wasn't even in the spring play or the homecoming queen. I was not the cool one with the house that my parent traveled enough to throw a house party or 2 when they were away. And when I got to college, I remained, as many would say, average. But here is who I was. I was the girl who preferred Ziggy's over Mighty Taco. Student council member, I hear somebody is a Ziggy's fan, so that's great. Student council member who won because my friends weren't limited to the Instagram or Facebook kings and queens. Let's be clear, Facebook and Instagram didn't really exist during my time. I fell in love with literature in Mr. Croc's class. and had one of my first experiences embracing my identity as a Black woman while reading the autobiography of Malcolm X. Why was this so huge? Because at Amherst, it wasn't quite an HBCU, so to speak. We were much more, I'd like to say diverse, but we had limited amount of students who may have looked like myself, but that didn't matter. To the faculty and staff, even to other students, they treated me as one of their own. I worked on the yearbook, which wasn't exactly glamorous, but it allowed me to do what I do best: tell and photograph the stories of others who I was so curious to understand. I sat in Mr. Ulrich's class. I maintained a B- or C+ at times in AP history, but he identified my potential before I could even figure out the correct shade of my concealer as my friends began to experience the makeup craze. As for who I am today, I still look out from the sidelines and study the habits and interactions of people. Just much more famous or more powerful, depending on how you look at it. Notice a common thread here. I was and still am somewhat out of my element, yet I am an observer of my environment. I'm not immune to failure or feeling like an outcast, which we'll get to in a minute. I work in an environment foreign to my upbringing, just like how I went to high school in an environment vastly different from my elementary school experience. I am not a political insider who came from Capitol Hill. I'm a curious kid who lived off of Kingsgate Drive and loved Little John and the Dave Matthews Band. Yes, I know, that ages me. Just like I wasn't the childhood best friend of my classmates at Amherst because I didn't go to Smallwood or Windermere, yet that didn't stop them. Yet in middle school is where I joined your Tiger family. So throw your assumptions out of the window and see me standing here as someone like yourself, someone who had an amazing opportunity, but never once with it all figured out, who wrote out a plan and threw it out, failed, tried, failed again, and tried a few more times. I experienced hardship growing up. My father was not in my life, and when he was oftentimes destructive and a distraction. I thought I would be a doctor. I don't know, I was ambitious. I worked at Snyder Pharmacy. But freshman year, biochem clearly told me that I was not destined to be one. So, what I will say is, you're gonna look around right now and you're gonna see your friends, and afterwards, you're gonna wanna go to whatever new hotspot diner it is, whatever house party, barbecue, maybe even go to brunch with your family and get your summer started off right. But please, whether your family is a grandparent, a mother, father, even a sibling as your caretaker, thank them afterwards, because you will need them far more than you know. In fact, my own mother, a Tiger of the class of '78, sorry to mention the year, Mom, she still, to this day, holds me together. My grandfather gave me the understanding that the only thing more powerful than being born to the right family, going to the most elite school, wearing the right labels. At the time, it was Abercrombie & Fitch versus American Eagle, Aeropostale. We were out there. But either way, it's just good work ethic. You can't substitute good work ethic. I don't care if you're going to community college or if you're taking a gap year and working for minimum wage or maybe even a little bit more. Work ethic. That's what will carry you. That's what you will fall back on. that will provide you security, not just financial security, but the emotional security our generation, your generation, so desperately needs. So what I would recommend is not only you treat the most common person like a king or a queen, but understand that none of my story would even be possible if I wasn't willing to roll up my sleeves and do the less glamorous jobs. The halls you once walked were the places I questioned my identity, my ability to succeed. But Mr. Ulrich told me I could do better when American history seemed impossible to master. Mr. Kropp, like many of my mentors, helped me master the art of confidence, which brings me to failures. When I left Amherst, I was excited. I lifeguarded a little bit during the summertime, folded clothes at J. Crew every now and then, and I headed off to New York City. That first year, I didn't know I was gonna get my butt kicked. I had no one next to me telling me when to open up a book. I had no one hovering over me saying that I would get an extension on an assignment that was past due. So I did what I knew how to do best, procrastinated a little bit, and I did as much as I humanly could not to fail. I did okay that semester. I got a 3.0. For me, easy sailing at that point. Or so I thought. That following semester, I transferred to our campus in the Bronx. Westchester was a far cry, from the Bronx. Westchester was more like Amherst. But when I got to the Bronx, no one looked like me. No one spoke like myself, even though they were various different shades. No one even remotely could tell me where Snyder was shocked. But instead, I tried. I tried to fit in. I tried to choose the major that I thought was going to make me successful, that I could come back to my 5-year or 10-year high school reunion and, stun on them a little bit. Didn't work. In fact, I failed chemistry. I got a B in biology, but I failed chemistry.
Okay.
And every other class seemed to be a struggle. The sorority that I once craved to be a part of had accepted me, except my GPA definitely did not. So I picked up my bags, left the Bronx, and I came home. And I took classes in this very building at University of Buffalo. I did classes part-time, I worked to get my GPA up, and I had a mentor tell me to apply for a fellowship in public service because I loved people and I happened to be decent at science, but I didn't love science. So do something that you love. Don't rush out and pick your major in your freshman year. You'll get your feelings hurt if it doesn't jive with your work ethic. So afterwards, I became an unpaid field organizer on the Obama campaign. I lived on a $20 a week food budget. For many of you, yes, that would be nearly impossible. And even with inflation, $20 was still enough. I could afford those Michelina's frozen dinners, and if I wanted to get jazzy, I would get loaded fries. So that helped me get through as I was interning. That fellowship allowed me to talk with people that I didn't think I'd ever feel comfortable talking to. Other people who asked me, no, but really, what are you? I grew up in Amherst, so I said I'm Black. What do you mean, what am I? Well, no, where are your people from? What's your mom do? And that was so foreign to me, and thank goodness it never stuck with me because it still doesn't matter. So afterwards, I had the opportunity to go get paid. or I could intern in Chicago at the headquarters. By this point, I had experienced my fair share of setbacks and failures. I knew that I could go and be a little fish in a big pond and get really, really lost. But instead, I decided the harder route, not to get paid. I took myself to Chicago, and from then on, the journey with the Obama family began. It first started off with doing research and figuring out what shade of pink a certain demographic likes. How can we target these voters? None of that mattered. What mattered is that I showed up every single day. I was not only there on time, but I stayed late. And I worked often 6 days out of a 7-day week. Following that, after winning the election, my then mentor said, "Hey, we need an intern who can be around. Do you think you can help me pack up some things in Chicago?" I said, "Sure, absolutely. I know how to label. I might not know how to, pass biochem, but I can really organize some closets." So I got in the car and I pulled up in Hyde Park on Greenwood Avenue to the president, or former president, and former first lady's house. They were in Hawaii, and I walked in. He had hardwood floors. The kitchen smelled like bananas. So I knew somebody actually lived there. These were real people. Wow. I got upstairs, and I began to help organize and pack belongings for 2 weeks. It wasn't glamorous at all. It wasn't a policy title. It wasn't what all the hot interns were doing, or even all of my Ivy League school friends could probably laugh at me, because somehow I managed to become what I thought was the help. But instead, after that experience, I was asked to make copies of an 800-page document once we got to the transition office. Little did I know that 800-page document would be a piece of legislation that would not only help to resuscitate closing paper mills and factories and car factories here in Buffalo because of government assistance. I didn't realize how connected I was to the things that I was doing, things that I thought were so simple, like making copies. What did that matter? Well, it mattered getting middle-class families getting back on track. And somehow I played my very, very small, yet important part in that. So I moved to DC, and I started to intern, and I became friends with every single butler and cook that worked in the White House. I delivered mail. I didn't do any special projects. I didn't have any fancy clothes. And for all of you who think when you get out of here where you will shop, ladies, it will be Zara, H&M Business, and if you're lucky, Ann Taylor, which literally is the Gucci of DC. I say all of this because I went to college thinking I was going to be taught how to think. I thought that I could really work my way out of any situation. But really what I learned when I left Amherst is how to feel. How to talk to someone with a hijab. How to reason with someone whose political ideologies I may not have understood or wanted to accept. How many times I failed in my own personal life, whether it be in college or relationships. It didn't outweigh how many times I could succeed. And I just needed to succeed once. My first day in the Obama office, I showed up and they said it was business casual. Take note, folks. Business casual is not distressed jeans and a t-shirt. Business casual, more like khakis. Well, I showed up and I got in the elevator, rushing. And we stopped on the next floor, and suddenly a bunch of people got in, and there was a bit of a squirm. And I had on a t-shirt, which I just thought was so funny, because you know, guys, graphic tees never get old. It had a caricature of my now boss, his head, and it said, "Obama for your mama." I heard a booming voice that said, "Nice shirt." I said, "Oh, thanks, I got it from Urban Outfitters, Senator Obama. Nice to meet you. My name is Desiree." Yes, folks, it was the first time I met him as an employee. I was mortified. So, learn business casual. Even in college, as you intern, get an internship. And if you're not going to full-time college and you're part-time at your job, treat it as if it's the most important job in the world. At Amherst, I never felt limited to my racial identity. No one in my class reminded me that I wasn't born with the same skin color. My teachers had the same expectations of me, of all my peers. So because I didn't grow up going to a specific tutor, or I didn't have the private school experience that maybe some of my classmates did have, that wasn't enough for Mrs. Fordham. That wasn't enough for Mr. Kroc or Mr. Ulrich. Man, sometimes I wish it was though, because my grades sure could have used a lift. But I say all of this because my music taste was developed here. Yes, it's no secret. I enjoy Migos still. The president, he enjoys ASAP. But either way, I still liked Dave Matthews Band as well. And I had amazing experiences with some of the less interesting folk who wore Birkenstocks. Don't be afraid to put down your phone and get busy living, because you gotta fail just a little bit, even if it hurts. And if you think you're hot stuff now, very sorry to say, you're peaking. That fraternity or sorority you think will make you important. Yeah. When you come out wearing your letters, you'll feel important. You'll feel like you belong. Yeah. You might even get another date. But most importantly, those quiet moments after a bump or a bruise will be where you develop your grit. And that's the only thing that's going to take you to wherever you want to be. Look at your friends next to you. You may never be as close to them again, but when you come home to Amherst, you will pick up exactly where you left off. You'll reflect on the funnier times, even some of the scarier times that you got your SAT scores back and you just weren't quite sure if you were gonna make the cut. Yes, I say all of these things to say because I'm not immune to failure. I'm not immune to disappointment. I'm not perfect, but what I did have is a lot of people who believed in me much more than I believed in myself. Even to this day, hearing from the least important person in the room is so crucial for the most important person, even in the world at the time. Asking me what I thought, getting my voice, learning how to use it, would be virtually impossible without wearing orange and black here. It was my teachers, it was my mother who made me read Maya Angelou's poetry. It was the books that I opened. It was someone pushing me that a C+ or a B- was just not good enough. You may deal with double standards, and you think you're going to spread your wings when you leave here. You will, but sometimes those double standards will follow you for the rest of your life, and it doesn't matter. It does not have to stop you. Don't be afraid. One recommendation I would have is, before I came here, I kept thinking you guys needed something really sentimental. Like, who could I quote? Would it be Chaucer? No. I decided to quote TBS, Shawshank Redemption, my favorite movie. I know, again, I've dated myself. He says in there that hope is the greatest of all things. Yes, that's in the Bible as well. But he also says that if you aren't going to get busy living, you better get busy dying. Class of 2017, you've got a lot more living to do. Get uncomfortable, get dirty. Thank your parents, thank your grandparents, even your siblings who tolerate you. Yes, tolerate you. Thank them, because I don't know where I would be without the woman sitting over there. I don't know where I would be with the man who looks nothing like myself sitting front row over here. I really, truly don't. But I am so grateful for my high school experience that taught me that I am not limited to my environment. So I'll leave you with this. Once you leave from here, some of you will still have questions about how do you make it. I will tell you this, there is no formula. Write out a plan. Be prepared to shred it in a year. Don't think the guys on the lacrosse team or the girls on the field hockey team will be the only type of people that can help you get to where you need to be. Reach across the aisle no matter how you vote. And yes, you should vote. Reach across the aisle and talk to someone outside of a Facebook commentary. And on Instagram, yes, a lot of things are airbrushed, ladies. So don't strive for the images that you see. It will only make your life that much harder. I can hope that you live with the freedom that I now have, even, 12 years after graduating from here, that I don't have to fit in anywhere. But no matter what, when I come back here to the 716, I'm indeed home. So don't think your music taste dictates your opportunity. Music is very important to me, so yes, I do love Migos and Dave Matthews Band, just remember that. Your music taste won't dictate. It won't be the soundtrack to your life, so you think. It's the music that comes from other people who put you on to other music that you never thought you would like. From other people who have told you that, yeah, you used to wear that in high school, but I don't think you can fit that now. Get ready for it. Get excited. Enjoy your summer and be safe. And if you do anything dumb, call your parents first. So congratulations, class of 2017. Make some of the same mistakes I did. Hopefully, you'll have as much fun as I am now. Thank you.